Now, when you think of spring break, I bet you think of beaches in Florida or even the Bahamas. Well, unfortunately, this isn't my dad's idea of a great trip. He prefers someplace cold and wet, Arkansas. Now, this may not sound exciting to you, and I admit, it wasn't at first to me. But our trip turned out to be a pleasant surprise because sand and surf is not a requirement for fun with your family. Our trip began as most do, with a long car ride. I call shotgun, but he ended up sitting in the middle of the back seat, feet on a hump, suffering from cannonball legs. We finally got to the curvy road. You may have seen curvy roads, but this one takes the cake. It's 60 miles long with hills like a roller coaster, which can be cool for the first 10 miles. But after that, the cool factor wears off. Just ask my sister Emily, who almost lost her cookies, making my dad drive the rest of the way 15 miles per hour with all the windows rolled down. In early April, that can be real cool. The fish hatchery my dad took us to had huge trout with a beautiful creek behind it. I noticed a sign that said, "Only handicap and youth under 16 allowed." Now the strange thing about that is you have to walk 3 flights of stairs to get to the river. What genius engineered that plan? When we got to the bottom, I could see a beautiful waterfall. The trout were trying to jump up the waterfall toward the hatchery, kind of like those shows in Alaska, thankfully without the bears. As my line drifted down the stream, it wasn't long before I saw it dip under and I knew something was interesting by my bait. I pulled on the rod as hard as I could. Watching the pole bend down, I heard the line make this cool singing noise. It's music to a fisherman's ears. Zzz. I listened carefully to my dad's instructions. "Hold on, Lauren, and reel." The fish started coming toward me. Back and forth it would go while the reel continued to sing. Zzz. The fish jumped out of the water and did a belly flop on its side. It was huge. I could tell that my dad was getting excited because he kept on saying, "Reel, reel. Wait, let him fight. Reel, reel. Wait." Poor Dad was more excited than me. The biggest fish are in the handicap and children's area. Now I know why he brings us on the trip. My first fish in that stream was a 7-pound German brown trout. He was golden with bright red dots all over his body. After a couple more casts, I saw that everyone else was turning over rocks and looking for small creatures, and that looked like fun. My cousin Michael asked if he could borrow the waders to go further into the water. We warned him that it could be very slippery and he should be careful. Of course, boys don't ever listen to girls, and he headed to the most slippery place in the entire stream. Before anyone could do anything, he was flat on his stomach with the look of sheer terror on his face. My stepmom went to help Michael, but forgot in all the excitement how slippery it was and fell into. Then Emily decided to save her and went in next. Once everyone was safe, and we had a good laugh about the incident, well, everyone except Michael, who still to this day refuses to admit he was ever scared. As our trip came to a close, I thought about all the adventures my family had had. Now, while others may return from spring break with tan bodies and seashells, you can be assured that their tans will fade, and their shells may be broken, and they won't have any memories that I have of spring break in Arkansas.